look out, because ISIS is coming to get you. And who's gonna save the day? Who's gonna protect you? Oh, the government's gonna protect you from ISIS, so you need to vote. You need to vote because ISIS is at the Mexican border, and ISIS is in Ferguson, and ISIS is in New York, and ISIS is taking out people in Syria, so we gotta put boots on the ground to take out Assad for Israel. I mean, for Saudi Arabia, or I mean, for the safety of the Sunnis that are being killed by the Alawites, even though the Sunni make up the majority of the military in Syria. Shut the fuck up. Here's the goddamn deal. ISIS is a CIA front group. They're getting funded by the Saudis, and they're getting protected by Israel. They're in the goddamn Golan Heights, and Israel's bombing the Syrian army, the real Syrian army, and they're bombing them to protect the Al Nusra, ISIS, whatever the fuck bases, and then they bring the damn guys when they get injured by the army. Then they run over to Israel, get fixed up to go fight again. I ain't making this shit up. This is a real deal. And then you got these piece of trash scumbags like Obama giving these some bitches money. You want to know what they're doing in Iraq? They're killing off activists. They're killing off citizens that are fighting against the government. And a lot of the citizens wanted Saddam to start trading in euros. A lot of his officials wanted them to start trading in euros, because that would end the sanctions. That would end the power of the sanctions over the country and bring it out of destitute. And America doesn't want that, because then America can control you. And America, like somebody hit me up today talking about this, America's on the road, and it's been on this road for damn near 40 years. A road to where it's about to collapse. The dollar's about to collapse, and a lot of people are going to go broke. It's not going to. It's going to be like Russia, where it doesn't have that insane global reach anymore, because it won't be able to sustain itself. And this has been happening since the 60s. That's why they essentially dismantled the entire New Deal. They dismantled the entire New Deal. The only thing left is Social Security. Like food stamps and all that was created by the Panthers. But yeah, they've dismantled the entire New Deal. And now what they're trying to do is galvanize the rest of it to create a system where the top elite have absolute control. Well, hell, they've already done that, but they need to maintain this system by maintaining the petrodollar. And that's starting to go out the window, because Iran's looking for alternatives. They've almost got it. Nigeria's looking for alternatives while trying to play the game, which is why Boko Haram's really there and why they really killed Yardua. China's looking for an alternative because they're just sick of America, and Russia's looking for an alternative because America's been trying to take out Russia for ages. The whole situation in Ukraine is America took out their president, and then they put in some Nazis, like literal Nazis. These are like actual fascists, and the fascists have been going to eastern Ukraine and been decimating people. They've been slaughtering people. They burned a pregnant woman alive. This isn't propaganda. I'm not making this shit up. This is the truth. And now they got the elections coming up, and they're going to avoid all that while using it to beat the war drums. They're going to avoid the atrocities committed by these psychopaths to push their agenda, which is always a corporatist agenda. That's what it is. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, well, it's better to have a Democrat than a Republican because they're not going to go to war and this, that, but here's the deal. Hillary Clinton is basically the only person that the Democrats have. The Republicans, who cares who they have, because they're shitbags. Bernie Sanders, he stands zero chance of getting elected, and he's probably the best legitimate guy in Washington. But he's basically isolated. He stands no chance. They'll come up with some shit saying, what do they love to say? We're not sure if he represents the proper direction of the party. Yeah, we're not gonna go with that guy. So that's why, I mean, the thing is, the Democratic members of Congress, They're already backing Clinton. She's basically the guy. Bernie Sanders is way too liberal. They need an old school war hawk blue dog like Hillary Clinton and Obama. These are blue dog Republicans. Excuse me, blue dog Democrats, which are basically Republicans. Obama is essentially Ronald Reagan, and he's finishing everything that Ronald Reagan was trying to go for. Like, he's literally doing it. He's busted up the unions pretty bad. He's taking out Gaddafi. He's working on Iran. He's a blue dog. But when Hillary Clinton's in there, I guarantee you she's going to try to finish taking out Iran, because they don't want an alternative to the petrodollar. Because then that means the gravy trade is over. And a lot of the elites will go from top tier to nothing. They'll go right back to being shit where they came from. And so they don't like that. So the super PACs are going to keep these guys out. The super PACs are going to keep out the Bernie Sanders and the Warrens, and they're going to keep pushing Clinton. And that's what's going to happen there. Those what they call them, the super delegates. So as far as the government goes, the game's rigged, and they've got it all set up. Your vote's basically worthless. If everybody voted and rallied behind Bernie Sanders, I guarantee you they would convince him to drop out for some reason. Oh, you should drop out. We don't want you to fucking get in here and fuck this up for us. We need this money. Because, I mean, you gotta look. There's ISIS this, ISIS that. We gotta go to war. We need somebody that's gonna go to war in Syria and go back to Iraq and start another war. And the Democrats aren't working fast enough, so go Republican. Oh, well, the Democrats are going to go faster, even though you people voted in 2006 to get rid of these guys and to stop going to war. You know, it's like, this is a joke. You voted. The whole reason that the Democrats took over the Senate and took over Congress was because you were hoping that they would stop this war shit, and that they would bring back jobs, manufacturing jobs, livable wages, and a good healthcare system. That's why people voted these guys in. And they've done the complete opposite. They went completely along with everything else that Bush was doing. They never reinstated Glass-Steagall. They've continued with his policies that dismantled the Fairness Act in the FCC. Just every agenda that was pushed by the Reaganite Republicans has been continued by Clinton, Obama, Bush, all these guys. And the next Clinton, she's gonna do the same thing. These people are all the same. They're like, oh, you're saying that the blue and the red's the same, but it's just to avoid what's really going on. It's like they use different means, but it's to the same corporatist end. It's to the same end, because they all benefit from the same sources. They all benefit from the same sources. Now look at Eric Holder. What Eric Holder leaves after all these scandals, like giving money to narcos, assisting certain cartels in Mexico, and giving a bunch of weapons to cops that are going around killing people. So he quit. So where does he go? He goes to the company that Sheila Bair and Obama gave billions of dollars to via Bear Stearns and Wamo. He goes to Chase. Chase, who got fined with $2 billion. Who cares if they got $2 billion? Paid a $2 billion fine. Obama and Sheila Bair, when Obama was a senator, gave those motherfuckers $33 billion from Wamo, and I forget, 15 or something billion from Bear Stearns, with zero debt. So they just wiped out all the shareholders, gave them all the assets, and called it a day. Here you go. Have a nice day. And a quick short sale. A sale so fast that even Killinger, the CEO of Walmart, didn't even see it coming. Fucked them right up the ass. And they even admitted they had spies from Chase inside of Walmart to break them down and destroy the company from the inside. They wanted to take out anybody who's not a New York insider in terms of banking. They wiped them out. That was all it was. That's why they were too big to fail. They were taking out all their enemies. Anybody who could weather the storm You got a cushy new job somewhere. But look who's left standing. All the New York insiders except for like Wells Fargo. So Wells Fargo survived, but they'll probably take them out next in the next round. It's all New York insiders. That's who survived the storm. Got a shitload of money. Why would Chase didn't even need a bailout? They were completely stable. Completely stable. Why did they get a bailout? For what? Even Jamie Dimon even got on TV and said he didn't need a bailout. He's like, oh, I gave you motherfuckers money. I don't need money. But you're my bitch, so you're gonna do it anyway. Jamie Dimon has his hand right up the change boy's ass. But I mean, the dumbass blacks are gonna vote for. They're gonna support the Democrats regardless because they think, I don't know what the fuck they need, reparations or whatever the fuck, whatever that agenda is. Anyway, I don't know. This is an election year, and that's why ISIS is the big thing and Ebola is the big thing. I guarantee you, when the elections are over in November, when they've selected new candidates for the Senate and for the House, nobody's gonna fucking care. Nobody's gonna care about ISIS, and nobody's gonna talk about Ebola. They're not gonna talk about Ebola anymore. They're gonna be like, oh, no, Ebola, yeah, it's handled like they did last time when it was in Zaire. Excuse me, or whatever the hell it's called now. As soon as that ended, as soon as the elections were over, nobody talks about Ebola in South Africa anymore. In Southern Africa, the country's affected. It was just like, what? Ebola? Let's handle it. It got cured or something. Yeah, don't worry about that. We're elected. We took care of it. Thanks for the votes. And then they went back to dismantling your rights, getting rid of the New Deal, and giving banks more power. That's all that happened. And it's not just banks; it's just multinationals. A lot of the reason why they're in Iraq is because the activists were pissed at all the multinationals outside of Erbil. They're pissed about all the activists, the local Iraqi activists. That's who that's who ISIS has been beheading and attacking. Because those people have been taking the oil and they've been selling it themselves. They're like, fuck you guys, man. Because we're not getting anything out of this. So America's protecting the multinationals, and that's why they want boots on the ground, because the private contractors ain't cutting the mustard anymore. The 100,000 mercenaries they hired to protect the multinationals aren't cutting the mustard anymore. So they needed this fake excuse of arming some idiot extremists who are going to go crazy, and then some mercenaries who are under the banner of the same mercenaries who are going to go out and take out certain activists and certain independent journalists who are pissing people off. They're going to go in there, take them out, then they're going to use the soldiers to just wipe out the spread and ensure that the petrodollar is protected, the corporations are protected, and to prolong the inevitable collapse of this place, because it's coming down the pipeline. Now, I'm not going to say Obama's Gorbachev. That's just a little bit out there. It's going to take a couple of years. But eventually, they're going to find an alternative to the dollar. And once they do that, it's over. I mean, the country's not going to go into complete ruin, but they're going to have to completely restructure. It's going to be really fucking hard for a while, and then until they have a really galvanizing figure in a new government, which unfortunately is going to be for somebody from the CIA, it's going to be rough. And a lot of people are going to leave. But there's always going to be money in certain places to where they're not going to feel it. Like Washington State will not feel it. I guarantee you they won't feel a damn thing. Southern California won't feel a thing. Texas will be minimally impacted. New York City won't feel a fucking thing. New York City is an international place with lots of international money. The black community in New York will feel it. They'll get fucked right up the ass, but the rest, they're not going to feel anything. In the South, yeah, they're going to feel it hard, but they're already so poor that they won't even notice. They won't realize it. But it's coming. It's coming. And I'll go more into depth because I didn't really use that much research for this, but yeah, this is an inevitable. It's an inevitable end to a situation that's been prolonged for a long time, thanks to things that happened in the '60s and '70s with the fake gas crisis, the fake oil crisis that led to the deal with the Saudis bending America over the barrel and allowed them to get away with murder. Literally. Like, there was an Arab Spring, actually, in Saudi Arabia that a lot of people don't know about. Just like there was an Arab Spring in Bahrain, and there was an Arab Spring in Iraq. And America put all those down. The Saudis put down the one in Iraq and Saudi Arabia. But in Bahrain, that was American soldiers, along with the king, who was slaughtering the Democratic protesters. It was the Iraqi government and American soldiers that slaughtered activists who were protesting during the Arab Spring. Like in Libya, they were protesting for food. I remember they were talking about a food crisis, or wheat prices rising in Syria and Libya. People were getting pissed off because they couldn't sell their wheat because of the prices going so high. They wanted the government to do something about it because he always throws money at everything. Gaddafi would throw money at everything. I don't know what to do. I'm going to throw a bunch of money at you. And he'd give him some kind of surplus or some shit to bail him out. And he wasn't doing that fast enough. And that's what the protests started. And then all of a sudden terrorists started blowing shit up and killing people. Like, fuck it, we want to break away. So then Miss Rada tried to break away, and that's when the whole thing started. They started making up lies that he's killing people and he's stealing money and all this other dumb shit, which got thousands of people killed, entire cities of blacks displaced, and the country's basically a failed state. It went from one of the best states on the Human Rights Watch list to being a failed state, thanks to Hillary Clinton, who you're about to select, because the super delegates are going to put her in it regardless. She's a bitch and a war hawk and a corporate pawn. She's a scumbag that's no better than any Republican you can think of. You might as well just vote in fucking Newt Gingrich, because it will be the same fucking thing. Nothing good's going to come out of this, because nothing good's come out of Obama. I mean, you got a stratified healthcare system. A system that's basically like this. Works like this. You got money? Great. We'll take care of you. You don't got money? Hey, fuck it. We're not going to take you. Get the fuck out. We don't take that insurance. So either pay cash or get the fuck out. That's literally how it works. It's literally how the fuck it works. And nobody can tell me different, because I've seen it with my own two eyes. These people are shit. That's it. That's all I can say. The government is your enemy. They're scumbags. They're armed to the teeth. They're killing citizens. They're killing activists. They're stomping out real activist movements. Look at Occupy. See, they took over the Tea Party and turned it from an anti-war movement to a bunch of dumbass racist Republicans. They took Occupy and just obliterated it. They just obliterated that shit. You want to see where Obama really stands? Look how he handled Occupy around the country. He came out, smashed him, smeared him, and then walked away. America's free as long as you play the game. You're playing by the rules, struggling, or you're doing well, getting taxed out of the ass as middle class, paying more than you should have to, working a 9 to 5, and then getting your money moved into a 401k, which is basically gambling with your savings, because you don't have a real pension. And then if the pension dissolves, you're fucked. It's great if you're doing all that, but once you start making real democratic moves, once you just create a real majority that's out there voting with the dollar, out there protesting and boycotting and doing real things that piss off the establishment, you get killed. You get tasered, you get pepper sprayed, you get handcuffed and punched in the face, like all those Occupy guys did. That's what's going to happen, because you're not free here. You don't have any right. You got as much rights as they allow you to have, when they allow you to have them. They can turn the right switch off anytime. The rights can just be on. Oh, okay, it's all good. Nope, no, fuck you. Just like that. And it's happened repeatedly. The cops do it every day. 1 second you got rights, then you voice those rights, and then somebody's punching you in the mouth. And if you don't believe me, go on YouTube while you still can and look at it. Look at the cops beating the shit out of white guys, black guys. And the white people think, oh, even though the cops are beating our ass, they're still keeping those niggers in line. And we're just going to go along with it. Because, yeah, it's an idiotic way to look at things. It's an idiotic way to look at things. But Americans are stupid. So, get what they deserve, bitch.